For the first part, or every month that we have office hours, I'll have a theme. Last month, I talked a little bit about support services. This month will be training services, and everything I'll focus on will be kind of your baseline. What's included with your Canvas contract? I like to start there. I don't go too much into add-on services, things like that. That can be outside the conversation. In the future for office hours, if this can be a resource or helpful to invite other people in, faculty instructors, feel free to do that. You can distribute the Zoom information out through a calendar invite to others, and they're welcome to attend. And happy to answer questions or kind of walk through what I can. And if I can't answer, then I can always follow up with for more information later through email, or we can always schedule a call. So for today, training services, again, I'm just going to walk through some best practices and just really a refresher on training services. Going to show you where we're at right now, what's being offered. We'll talk about free services, training resources that are available. And then I'll have a couple of other additional resources within the Canvas community that I think are really good training resources that can be utilized. And you also are, you can distribute those as well if they can be helpful. So let me start with first, Training Services Portal, just a refresher on where you can find this, how you can access training. Everyone has training built into their instance of Canvas. Over time, what I've found, and as I kind of visit with different groups and in the region being new to many schools, if you've been a Canvas customer for a long period of time, it's possible that you may have turned this off at some point. About a year and a half ago or so, we actually, the Training Services Portal would redirect you to an external site that we use to host training courses. And we revamped that. At the time, though, because it was a third party, because it felt different and separate from Canvas, I did have some schools, or I have had schools that have turned off the services. And so it might be a good time to review what's included with training services. And if it can be a helpful tool, maybe turn them back on if they are not available within your Canvas instance. We do use Canvas now to host training courses within the training services portal. So someone that uses it, the advantage there for end users or for instructors is that it's going to look familiar to what they're already used to if they're working in Canvas. So that's also kind of a benefit as well, and you can also kind of showcase, or you'll see within those training courses using Canvas, how maybe some different ideas on how modules could be set up within a course and so on. So I'm going to share my training site real quick and show you kind of where you can access that. Let's jump into just a kind of a mock training site that I use just to kind of demonstrate where that link is. So within your help navigation, when you're in your instance logged in, your end users and your instructors will all see when it's enabled a link to Training Services Portal. You are able to change the verbiage. So if you want to add some more description to it, if you wanted to change the name of the link, you're welcome to do that. If it helps promote it in different ways, if you want to add more context to what it might be used for, completely up to you. We do find that, of course, there's higher usage of the services if you're promoting it within Canvas, or even outside of Canvas. If you're marketing this as a resource, then people will definitely use it. So I'm going to click into the Training Services Portal just to see that experience. It's always going to kind of authorize you to cross over into, again, this is a separate instance of Canvas that's linked to yours. Whoops, jump right into admin settings. We'll talk about that in a moment here. So as a learner, just coming into the Training Services Portal, whatever level of subscription service you have is what will appear. And so for me, this is the free training that's included. You'll notice there's a Training Services Portal walkthrough that's comprehensive, 30 minutes. That's really handy if you're introducing this for the very first time. It's an orientation on how to use the services that are here in the portal. And then part of the free services we have also the Canvas Field Guide, which is a 45-minute module. And then within also now, which is fairly new, or the last year, is the new Quizzes Essentials. The new Quizzes Essentials course is up to date. So if you're looking for the most up-to-date training that we have available in Instructure for new quizzes, it's going to be within the Training Services Portal. So when people start to ask about, maybe they're ready to introduce new quizzes within their instance and they're introducing it to a new audience, they ask for resources, what can we provide our end users to kind of train them or get them up to speed. I would point to the Training Services Portal. It's in line with the roadmap. We keep it up to date. It's definitely a great place to go. So use um, these training courses, the 45-minute on demand. There's videos in there. It's comprehensive. There's lots of good information within that. How to use Canvas in general. It's a great starting point. So if you want to add on to your training services, you're welcome to do that. We have different levels of service. They will continue to add additional courses to your training services portal. If you're not feeling that, we also have kind of a pick and choose a la carte. If you want to specialize with certain training courses for your users, maybe you're wanting to increase adoption or increase usage with Gradebook, you can a la carte add some of those sessions to your training services portal. So pathways can also be used if you're wanting to create more of a training program and you're wanting to assign users to this. I've heard this more often used with instructors, faculty. Maybe you're wanting to certify them in using different components of Canvas. Pathways is a possibility for that. You're going to see those areas within the portal. They're not going to be available unless you have the service. So, but it does open up to being able to use it if those are added over time. Live training calendar is also not going to display anything unless you have the service or the level. So for some instances, if you have different levels of training, you'll see some options here. And then you have options or access to your own history and your own transcripts in this within the portal. One thing that gets overlooked, because again, it's been some time since we've refreshed, is if you don't have access as a Canvas administrator to your instance, you should cross over into the training services portal, take a look at it. If you don't have access, there'll be a drop-down menu in the top right corner as an admin, then we can add you. Just by request, let me know if you want to be added to the training services portal specifically. You don't get automatic access if you are a Canvas administrator. You have to actually be set as an administrator over the portal. Super easy to do. Just let me know. I can add that for you. When you have that access, you'll have a separate tab for admin. And then within that tab, you'll have additional reporting, namely a completion report. If there's pathways involved, you'll have a pathways report, so you'll be able to see certifications or those programs taking place. And live training also has additional reporting as well. So right now with the free service subscription, I plain access to completion reports. There's a lot of information there, though. I'll be able to see who is enrolled into what course, and then their kind of their level of completion. So if it's in progress or they have completed it, you'll be able to access that as well. It's really easy to generate kind of real-time reports if you want to update that information. My training services area is not used very often. It's just kind of a demo site, so you won't see much there, but just to give you an idea of what it can look like or how to access that. So again, it's by request. If you don't have access to that within your training services portal and maybe you're making plans or you're thinking about maybe we should use this, definitely request for me to be added as an administrator, and we'll get that turned on for you, and then you'll have access to reporting. You'll be able to see usage and then who's actually taking advantage of the portal. So training services portal, the next thing I want to point out, and so I did add in these slides, which I'll send out after the office hours today, links into kind of how to learn more about what subscription level you have. If you're not quite sure, you have free guaranteed. So linked into the slide is actually a link out into our learning services area where we have all the information about the different levels and then a la carte, the sessions that are available, adding additional training. So I don't want to make this into a sales pitch or anything like that. I do want to make you aware of where that information's at. So the on-demand training portal subscription options. So again, down below, you kind of have 4 different subscription levels that we see. You start off with free. Essentials is the next level up. I think it's very attainable or very accessible budget-wise. Then you go into standard and premium, which you're adding more and more, and usually you're adding more of the a la carte specialties. Pathways becomes an option at premium, things like that. So on-demand live training, and definitely if that's an interest and you want to promote this or you're looking at different training programs, very, very detailed and very thorough. The higher up you get into, we've got all kinds of learning services available. So down below, there's different links here, tabs. This will, again, show you what's included. If you're not quite sure, here are the 2 courses that are offered for free. The nice thing is we have documentation that breaks it out by module. So if you're wanting to promote it, if you want to put it into some type of an agenda, you want to send it out in an email, you want to let your faculty know or end users, we have some of that stuff built out already. Field guide is the same. We have different modules and what's included within that free training course. You also have your one-pager, again, for marketing information. If you want to modify those and put your own institution brand on it, you can do that. And then from here, essentials and up, we have more and more information that's included. It's also linked into the slide deck, but you'll see right away when you jump up to the second level. And it doesn't have to be, some people are thinking, well, we don't want to have training services for 3 years. I totally understand that. you want to have a 1 year contract on training just to really promote training for 1 year heavily, just to kind of move the needle on people's skill set and getting them comfortable, learning more kind of outside the box. Standard might be something, or essentials might be something you look at for the year. So it doesn't have to be long term, but you'll see what you get with the next level is there's quite a bit on the higher ed side. We start adding more and more kind of customization, specialized training courses to the option. You'll see also we have pathways that's included even with the basic essentials area or essential subscription. So there's a ton here. So you jump quite a bit when you look at training. And again, if there's an initiative going on, if you're looking at, well, how do we push more training, and then how do we evaluate that the training's effective if we're going to put money into it? We can definitely do that. So talk about different programs. If you have questions, let me know. But I'm a big fan of training. I have a training background, so you can never have enough. We do have great learning services. So that's the free training. Again, I mentioned that we also have essentials training, which that links to the same area we're just at if you wanted to see what's included. Within all that information, yeah, this is a one pager. This is actually really helpful because you scroll down, you'll see what courses are provided to what level. So up here above, you see we even break it out by who it applies to: implementation teams, Canvas administrators, and then teachers, faculty. You'll see different types based on the stars or indicators there. You'll also see this is what package it's included in. With all of the courses that outlines here in this one pager, you also have agendas and you have additional resources built out. All of this is free. The resources part is all free. So if you wanted to take a look at it and you're just curious about maybe what some of the modules look like, what's covered in those modules, they're very thorough. So if you're doing some planning and you want to kind of build, hey, do we want to build our own custom training program and this is what we want to focus on? This is where you can kind of go a la carte and take a look at different options and sessions that are available. So that was for essentials again, and then you can go up from there. All of the training levels, subscription levels have the same type of documentation resources available. All right, outside of the training services portal, a couple other areas I want to touch on. Global Customer Success Hub. I think this area is overlooked quite a bit. I'm a big fan of it because they have webinars, and these webinars can be used. They're created for a live audience, but we record them and then we save them, and you have access to them at all times. So I'll link to it in the slide, but if we click into it and jump out to the Global Customer Success Hub, you'll notice we're building some onboarding sessions. We have featured hubs, which link to group pages. We have instructor products. We have the instructor roadmap overall. The area I want to highlight here is actually within the webinars. So here, they have newsletters as well. The webinars are very helpful because you basically have a packaged training session. If you look at the webinars, we have upcoming live webinars that are currently being produced and that we'll have. We have the date, the time. Again, all of these are recorded. We also have past webinars. And so you look through here, they're really specialized in some areas. You'll see that we've had, Canvas Data 2. If there's interest there in some of the analytics and data, we've had a group or we've had a webinar on it and it's been recorded. So you can review that for the information. You can promote any of these. Here's one that's Community Pros. It's making the most of modules within a course. So again, you can view the event details. This is the recording or a link to the recording. You can pull those recordings, you can customize them, and you can promote them within your own instance and within your own community. So that's the nice thing about the webinars is they're free and they're for you to use. And we usually have some pretty cool sessions. Sometimes we'll have partners sessions, just like at a conference. Just be aware that if you go to a partner's webinar or a partner's session, it's probably going to be about the LTI or the partner. The other ones you're going to see, if they're not partner related, they're going to be Canvas. So a lot of tips and tricks and best practices. So definitely check those out. We have other additional resources I'm going to throw in here. These are all linked as well. I have a YouTube channel. If you haven't found that yet, I'd link it in the newsletters. This is where I record all of the release notes, deploy notes, and then of course our office hours. I'll drop those in here as well. So if you wanted to see last month's office hours in August for support services, current spotlight here is the September release notes. Look at that good looking guy right there, man. Tell you what, he's entertaining too. So you should definitely check this out. Bookmark the page, subscribe to it, whatever you want to do to get the notifications from it. Instructure Academy is really more instructor level. So it's above Canvas. It's including all products. We just started this, but this is really just kind of industry trends, best practices, topics, issues that might be, throughout higher education or throughout academia. So you'll see really cool blog posts here, and they're big discussions. Whether it's accessibility, whether it's compliance, whether it's artificial intelligence, These are where you're going to find discussions on it at that level. So I think there's lots of good information here. Definitely check it out. This is fairly new again. We'll have upcoming events as well as a podcast that's linked here as well. So if you're curious in that kind of stuff, I think it's good, or additional training resources available. Dear Danielle. Danielle's one of our customer success managers. She has a little bit of a training background, so she's been very creative, and she recorded a lot of the best practice sessions she was having with her customer base. And then we realized, well, these could be good training sessions just in general, because she was covering topics that instructors deal with most of the time, or a lot of the times within their own course. So you'll see there's actually links in here for Dear Danielle, where we have maybe some sessions on assignments. We have sessions on gradebook or grading. We have studio sessions, mastery paths, new quizzes, outcomes. So if there's questions about those areas, is how can we utilize these things better? We've probably done a recorded session on it. So these are great resources. Additional training, I think. It ties to a newsletter, but she also has a video where she kind of outlines all of these areas. So again, just free training resources that you can use and promote within your own community. So those are some additional areas. We also have wanted to mention ideas. I'm always kind of strategically thinking about, if you are interested in more formal training programs within your instance, even with just the free or what's offered, if you want to utilize some of these other resources that are out there in the Canvas community that are free, but you want to kind of brand them and make them available as part of your training, we actually have. I would recommend looking at credentialing or badging. Canvas Credentials is, of course, the premium feature. You've probably heard of Credentials by now, but badging is the free version of Credentials. So without going into the overall bigger picture of Credentials, badges can be used for free on a smaller scale. Badges are designed really at the course level, but if you wanted to create courses as training programs and offer them, you could use badges for free, and then you have kind of a completion process or a certification at the end of that program. And so I have had some instances over time. I started to really pilot this 6 months ago as we really looked at this, and using badges for free on specific training programs that are created internally for your faculty instructors. And then you'll have a badge at the end of that. And the badge can, of course, be used to recert, or you can set it on a timeline, and they can be used to kind of keep track of who's certified and what skill set. So there's a couple different blog posts out here. This talks about piloting a credential program. I'm more interested in the badges piece. And so I did include on the next slide, you've got kind of comparison between Canvas badges, again, that's the free, and then Canvas credentials. The areas that I focus on for badges, and again, I'm relating all of this to training, is being able to share this on social media. Badge expiration is key. So if you have a training course and it's on skill set, maybe learning how to use a gradebook, and you guys have created some content for it, maybe you pulled it out of Canvas Commons, but you can attach a badge to it. There's an expiration on a badge. Maybe you give it a year certification, and then next year you have your instructors take that course again in order to recert. And then that certification or that badge is evidence or proof that they've completed the program. Public pages can be used for badges. Managed staff access to issuers, those also can be used. The only limitations here, you get one template. But if you're using it for internal training, you don't need many templates anyways for a badge. You can kind of just use one template. That's an internal badge branded for your institution. So just something to keep in mind if you're thinking outside the box. Maybe you're thinking about, how do we grow some training? How do we make it accountable? How do we add some certifications to it? I do think there's some free options to do that. And I do think that they can be really effective if you're using them. So happy to help with that, have those conversations. We've also had badges, of course. If you look into the credentialing area, other ways to think about credentials, if you're thinking about, professional development, we do have some instances out there now that are, expanding more and more into professional development internally. They want to be able to track that. These are professional development courses that are offered external to others. And so following that kind of that whole Coursera trend, where people are out there kind of looking for courses to take, and then they also want to purchase the institution that backs them. Those are some ideas on how to use badges, credentialing, and then catalog is another component of that too, if you're looking external. So Canvas is great for internal training. You can create your own sub account, sub community for training. I've had questions about that too, or you can set up a sandbox, or you can set up your own training area, and it's a sub account within your instance. And then you're running badging through all of the courses. You're running your own custom training, and you can use all of the free resources that are out there. You can pull in courses from Commons and so on. So there's all kinds of different ideas. I love, again, I geek out on training, so I'm always excited to talk about it.